What's up, America? Broderick here. And you know what? Today we gotta talk about how the opposite sex is not worth raping. Because we have we got the clips of a live stream from old Charleston White out here claiming that if the opposite sex doesn't give you the pussy freely, well, that you should just take it. They're not worth even doing that. Now, I ain't gonna, I can't fail to mention the obvious buffoonery of a one Charleston White thinking that this was anywhere near rational. And so I'm going to dismiss this logic of his as nothing more than a emotional outburst from an effeminate man who might not have the most masculine influences in his life growing up. But that's only the background of what I want to speak on today. So, rape. Forcibly engaging in sex on an individual against their will. That's not something that's it's not something that doesn't take no effort. We just look at the psychological side of that on the part of men. We're gonna look at it from the men's part. That's not something that doesn't take no effort, guys. Like, it isn't something you just gonna be like, wake up and decide to do as if it's like it's breathing. Nah. That takes some determination. But we've been saying it for years, that this is what single mother households breed. They breed these types of mindsets. And you know, I gotta give we have to also shout out the fact that the opposite sex of the black community are very openly and willingly to sexually aggress upon underage men, meaning minors, boys, a child. Yeah, we can't let that. We cannot let the opportunity slip us by to call that out, because it's still happening. It happens to them, and they are told to just, you know, accept it because it's part of the dysfunctional environment that they live in. Because they don't have a lot of money that just have to accept this type of behavior from the opposite sex, who are at the same breath in our society being pushed onto you as a man while you are nothing more than a child, a boy, I will very much remind you all that minor consent laws allow sexual engagement between the opposite sex, which you started at the age of 15, when you were still no more than a child. You're not an adult. 15 is not 18 years old. And for us as men, that's even more of a case, because we're not considered adults until we're 21. So it's even more egregious when we apply the male standard of minors. And what's considered a child. You know, everything black with a pussy between his legs has this mindset, well, that if I can't get it from him when he's of age, I might as well get my time in out of him when he's underage. This is their mindset. And society doesn't shine a spotlight on it because it doesn't help the perspective of society's long-term goals. But this is something that's always happening. It's always happening in the black community. You can just walk down the street in any type of hood, and you will find very often than not that these are the types of stories that those men have. It wasn't even not too long recently when I was just, in transit. And this is sad. This is a sad fucking story. I hate this. I hate to talk about it every fucking time I hear stuff like this. But I came across a guy. He's on the bus venting about child support payments. And long story short, I found out that this dude started sexual interactions with the opposite sex at the age of 13. Now, did he want that? Did he decide that was going to be what he was going to do? Or was society and the opposite sex themselves thrusting them into that situation like they do every single other situation out here when it comes to you having a dick between your legs and them just placing these expectations onto you? You don't get no fucking input in these things. But you see, it doesn't get talked about openly. This video isn't going to get viewed a lot. And I said all that to say, to give you the context that these are the types of members of the opposite sex that Charleston White thinks that, in some deduction of his mind, are worth raping. They're not worth the saliva that drips off my tongue. Hey, look, we all know them, especially in the black community, but this is happening. This is happening in other communities as well. Unfortunately, it's not just the black community that has these types of going-ons. We used to be able to say, oh, that's just the black community. But as I already pointed out in the past, they're going to use the opposite sex to push this pedophile perspective onto the general public. They're going to use the opposite sex to walk this society into this pedophile acceptance. It's already being started. Now look, I don't want to be the man that wakes up and see a 4-year-old child, underage boy, someone's son, in some G-string or some type of sexualized swimsuit, spread eagle across the cover of Vogue magazine. But I want you to understand, these are the type of individuals that's out here in your society, gang. Especially when it comes to the black community. You can very much understand that, you know, most of them have committed pedophilic acts with underage boys. It's like, look, when you're out there getting your gangbang at the age of 15, congratulations, you were converted into a pedophile. All right? You got his underage, your boyfriend dicked you down before you hit the age of 18, and his ass was no more shy than 15 years old. Congratulations, you're a fucking pedo. You're a fucking pedophile. Look, just because Senate and Congress and the whole political gang okays your disgusting ass behavior and says, oh, well, we're just not gonna legally do anything to anything with a pussy between its legs, trying to get some boy dick shoved up inside of them, doesn't make it no less pedophilic. And like I said, I'm giving you all this context because I'm driving home the point that these are the types of individuals that my man's Charleston think is worth raping. Guys, can you see the dysfunction? Can you just see the fucking dysfunction that has infected the black community? Because if it's not seeping into your back thoughts, if it's not that, you know, that nagging question in your back of your head, yeah, understand, this is the level of dysfunction that black people deal with on a daily fucking basis. Oh, and don't forget, just because you turn of age doesn't mean that these types of individuals, these fucking sexual deviants, won't try to sexually assault you. Yeah, well, not too long ago, out there in Chicago, in Illinois, black dude thought it was okay to be walking around there late at night, and you know, a waitress of all things rides up on him, pulls out the piece, throws him in the back of the van, and that dude, he got the 2-piece treatment because he was sexually assaulted not by one, but 2 members of the opposite sex at the same time. Oh, and I can't fail to mention that he was extorted for all the cash he had at the time on his pocket. He was robbed, of course, because, you know, of course, roving gangs of the opposite sex, they don't get talked about enough. I'm like, this is the third world shit we try to talk about that gets suppressed every day in your media. Yet it's worth raping them, guys. They want you to believe that it's worth. Charleston White wants you to believe it's worth raping this. No. It's not worth raping them. I'm not getting a prison sentence. I'm not getting a prison sentence for pedophile pussy, okay? I'm just not. I don't see it as worth my time. I'm not engaging in it. Because it's just, what are you getting? You getting the sloppy seconds of what, like 80, 100, 200 underage boys? Because that's how... You think they just stop at one? No, I was in high school. I was in middle school. I watched them fucking dump boys and jump on new boy dick like it was going out of style. Like they were changing like they were changing makeup. They were in and out of these boys like it was, you know, putting on new lipstick each day. And I have to preference the fact that these were underage boys. These were underage boys. They weren't grown adult men. Now they push this narrative all the time that, oh, the opposite sex, they're dating older men. Maybe, but they'll fuck anything with a dick between its legs. Remember right there, still out in Chicago, 70 fucking teachers of the opposite sex. Open investigations on all of them for committing acts and relations with 14, 15, 13. Those were the ranges of underage boys that they had sexual relations with. So this whole narrative, oh, they're going out their date. Yeah, that's a fucking front. That's a front. That's a front. It's a fucking front, okay, gang? That's cover. That's running cover for them. I was in middle school. I was in elementary. I watched with my own fucking eyes the sexual aggression unwarrantedly placed against the opposite sex, meaning us with dick between our legs. We weren't protected, and neither were any. But it's not about a race thing, because you know there'll be those race baiters coming out of the fucking woodworks trying to defend this shit. There'll be pedophile apologists coming out of woodworks trying to defend this shit, and it's just pedophilia. And these are the type of individuals that our boy, yours truly, Charleston White, wants you to believe is worth raping them. It's not. When I sit up here in the beginning of this video and I told y'all that it's not worth the saliva on the tip of your tongue, I wasn't fucking lying. 2, 3, what? In some cases, 4 years of underage boy dick and went inside of that. In and out. Busted. Took the semen. Because the younger the age, the more they seem to think that it's worth getting that cream pie. You know. And they want y'all to be procreating with this shit. Charleston White wants you to procreate with it so much that he thinks it's okay for you to forcefully do it. No, it's not worth the fucking time. It's just not worth the time. It's not worth the time. And I've been vocal against pedophilia for a while now on my channel. I've been vocal pretty much against sexual interactions in a lot of different spectrums and contexts. And now, a lot of people will sit up there and think, they would think, you know, I have some girlfriend, or I must be trying to protect some child I had, or I'm trying to, you know, protect. I'm not trying to protect. I ain't trying to protect no fucking children. I don't give a fuck about your children. What I give a fuck about is myself, and the fact that after your child gets sexually assaulted by some damn 13-year-old underage minder that decided to sexually do the thing with your fucking underage son, after they convinced, coerced, manipulated, and socially went about their way to covertly aggress their sexual relations upon you, being that, in this case, the underage boy who, if we leave it to their own, we leave it to their own words, they say all the time that, oh well, men don't sexually develop. Men don't sexually develop. Well, guess what? For those of you who have this sexual development period before us as men supposedly do, because this is your own words. Y'all the ones come out here and say this. Every one of y'all with the pussy between y'all legs will have the belief and thought process that you're just more sexually developed than the average man. Okay, so when it's the case that you were fucking underage minor, you're a minor, where's the fucking personal account of responsibility that dictates that maybe I should fucking keep my legs closed and my pussy shut because this boy isn't sexually as adept and developed as I am in this point in time, at the case of the fact that, as again, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Those are minors. All those age ranges is minors. And if you, the one who have the more sexual development, you should be willing, if you really come out and claim that you love this man, you want him to be your boyfriend, you want him to possibly be your husband, or maybe even if you just want a long-term relationship, because maybe you like one of these Britney Whitney types, and you think I should be in a long-term monogamous relationship, not with an underage boy. If you starting off at the age of 15 thinking that you supposed to jump into some relationship, congratulations, I'm gonna call you a fucking pedophile. Because children are supposed to be children. Minors are minors. Period. They're minors. There isn't no magical excuse to allow you to wrap your pussy lips around somebody's underage son. It's just not. There's no reason for that. And like I've been told everybody, our political representation is non-existent as men, especially as a single man. And people are like, well, what about the married? They don't represent us. I don't want to hear shit about the married guys. They don't represent single men. We have no representation. We were fucking sacrifices. They sacrificed every male voice out there for the continued vote of the opposite sex. This happened, what, 2 whole decades? No, 1 whole decade before I was born. And when I came to the age of 15, 14, 13, I was out there as open as I can be. I'm still a child. I am still a child. I'm too young. I don't need to be involved in this. Hey, I was called all type of shit because I wasn't trying to stick my dick in someone's underage daughter. Because, you know, I would have to live with that. I would have those memories for the rest of my fucking life. I would be the one who have to wake up in every day knowing the fact that I fucking stuck my dick and busted my nut inside of somebody's child. And if that had to be the case that it happened, well, I want to be afforded the ability to know that they're at least over the age of 18 years old, you know, because I'm not attracted to 15, 16, 17, 13-year-old underage children. I told them right quick and very much in a hurry, you're a child, you're a kid. They hated it. Yeah, man. They fucking hated when I said that to them. Because they knew I would give them no sexual leeway. But children are children. And the most of anything that would happen was maybe something platonic would develop. And even that was on a strenuous, very strenuous boundary of the moment you fucking decided to try to do something of a sexual nature of any clause toward me, I'm dropping it. I will fucking abandon you. And I'll have no fucking qualm about it. Because when you're a child, you're a fucking child. Hell, look, just because, you know, the members of the opposite sex feel like they want to have their sexual awakening, doesn't mean I have to be drugged into it. But anyway, let's get back to Charleston White. Look, man. There's multiple live streams out there of this guy on camera clowning himself to the world, talking about, hey, if they don't give up the pussy, just take it. No, Charleston, we don't just take it. Look, you don't have to do that because, hey, look, a lot of you might think that, oh, Broderick's here to champion consent. Oh, no. No, don't think that. Look, I don't deal with consent either because I keep my dick in my pants. I don't have to deal with consent laws. I don't even have to engage with asking for consent because I'm not out there sexually involving myself with the opposite sex. Look, man. What that consent law is, it's a big ass denotion to you. It's a big ass descriptor. I will cuck you. That's what that screams in the back of every man's mind. Okay, look. I don't ask for consent to have sex with the opposite sex. I never have, and I never will. I will lose interest in the opposite sex as quick as I look at them. And I'll walk on down to the road and I'll come across an individual of the opposite sex who will willingly have sexual interaction with me. For everyone who wants to be out on that bullshit, every one of them who wants to be on that bullshit of consent this, consent that, you can walk away from them. You can walk away lose interest, and then more likely than not, they'll be put in a position where they'll lose whatever you would have had with them. Whatever sexually you would have had with them. Whatever you would have gave to them. Whatever you would have did for them. It's okay to walk away from doing that. Lose interest. Forget about them. Look, when it comes to the opposite sex, there's like 4 of them for every one of you. It is okay to lose interest in them. You don't have to stick your dick in them. Especially if you feel uncomfortable on any way, level, and degree. And then look, man, when it comes to these, oh, well, you gotta get consent, Broderick. No, I just have to deal with someone who's not gonna ask me about that bullshit. And someone who's gonna willingly spread their legs, take my dick, and not have a problem being born with the fact that they have a pussy between their legs. It's simple. It's that simple. They want you to be out there, oh, well, you gotta get consent. You gotta get consent. Lose interest. Stop being involved. Hell, go do something else with your life. Sexual gratification isn't the end all and be all of your life as men. Understand that it's fucking completely okay to walk away and not be involved. You don't have to rape. You don't have to force yourself on there. And you sure as hell don't have to ask them for consent. Because you can always have the ability to just not deal with it. And you know, I want less of these videos out here of virgin dudes crying because they were manipulated into some sexual relation that they weren't sure about. And I want more videos of dudes saying, I don't fucking care about this shit. This shit's for the birds. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Y'all push this shit on somebody else. I want more men out there to be willing to say, you know what? Nah, I'm not me. You know, people think that, you know, we gotta throw Molotov cocktails into federal buildings. People think you gotta go shoot up police stations. But the biggest ability we as men have is going to be in our involvement. What are we going to fucking involve ourselves in as men? Where does our involvement land? Where does that go? Stop dealing with these types of idiots. The ones who want to tell you, you know, you gotta rape somebody. The ones who want to tell you what you should be doing with your sexuality. The ones who want to try to coerce you into doing dumb shit. Ones who want you to rush into a situation you might not have all the information on. Because there are those out there who come across, you know, a pack a dozen. They're like, I experienced these people in my youth. I still experience these people today. I get it all the time. When you gonna have sex, bro? Or you get any pussy yet? That type of shit. And for the 30 years, and beyond that, it's okay for you to say, you know what? No. You know, the first 30 years of your life are the ones that shape your resolve. And when you come resolute in the decision to not be involved into a lot of this loony ass dumb shit, each and every one of those years you'll find it easier to fucking say no. And I like to tell people, because I said it on the Happy Hermit live stream. If you willing to say no to them in high school, when you become an adult, it become like second nature to you. You're gonna get it pushed on you the hardest in fucking high school. You make it past those 4 fucking years, because you don't have to go to college. You can get into a trade. You can get to a prison. You can get into an apprenticeship program. Hell, you can go get your MIT certifications. You just gotta make it past those 4 fucking years, and you can set yourself up to where you just don't even deal with these people. Expect the fact that they're gonna throw a lot of bullshit your way coming up in these high schools. And now it's just not with the opposite sex either. You got men out here, because you see the example of today's video, Charleston White out here fucking yelling at men to go be sexually involved, even if it's forcefully. But you got even cats out there who got dicks between their legs telling dudes to jump into these sexual situations, even though they themselves know what these situations entail. They know the morbid fucking existential dread that is being involved with the opposite sex, because they want to fake that front out here like, yeah, this is something to be proud of. But losing your virginity before you hit the age of 18 is nothing to be fucking proud of. It's dysfunctional. It's disingenuous. It's unhygienic. It's pedophilic. I'm like, look,